Hariom students, welcome to online class. Today we are going to know about the ant and the cricket, your first poem in your class. The ant and the cricket poem was a fable. Without any delay, let's get into the poem. What is a fable? What is the story between ant and the cricket? All those things. The ant and the cricket is Aesop's fable. Aesop's fable. What is a fable? Before going to know about fable, just get into this details of author. For those that believe he was a real person, Aesop lived from 620 to 560 BC. So he belongs to BC. BC means before Christ, birth of before Christ. He was born a slave but was freed because of his literacy and intelligence. So actually Aesop was born as a slave, but with his literacy and intelligence he became free. Aesop is credited with writing over 600 fables, not one or two fables, but 600 fables, which are short stories that teach a moral or lesson. 600 fables, not some of them are short stories. We come to know that whenever there is a story, for sure we'll get one moral from that story. Finally, in the conclusion, we come to know one moral from the story. In that way, he wrote how many fables, ma? 600 fables he wrote. The characters are animals with human traits. From all these stories, fables in the sense it is especially for animals. Animals representing as a characters. Based upon the characters, finally we'll get the moral. So all the characters will be animals with human traits. Aesop's Fables, or the Aesopica, is a collection of fables credited to Aesop, a slave and a storyteller believed to have lived in ancient Greece between 620 and 564 BCE. As we discussed earlier, Aesop's fables. Why we are discussing about Aesop's fables means the ant and the cricket. The poem The Ant and the Cricket was also adapted from Aesop's fable. It is also one of the fable adapted from Aesop's fables. So he belongs to 620 and 564 BC. BC means before Christ. Of diverse origins, the stories associated with his name have descended to modern times through a number of sources, and continue to be reinterpreted in different verbal registers and in popular as well as artistic media. So, as we discussed earlier, nearly 600 fables were written by Aesop. So all these stories were associated with his name. Number of sources will continue. Number of sources, they reinterpreted the stories, the fables which was written by Aesop. Yes, what is a fable? A fable is a story, often with animals as characters, that conveys a moral. So, fable means a fable is a story with animals as characters. Not human beings will be there, but only animals representing one particular characters. They'll have some dialogue. Finally, and the conclusion, will get some moral from that lesson. This poem, what is the title of a poem? An Ant and a Cricket, contains an idea of far-reaching significance. What is the main idea of our poem? Far-reaching significance, which is as true of a four-legged cricket as of two-legged one. Surely you have seen a cricket that has two legs. You already have an idea about cricket. Observe this. This is a cricket. So different types of crickets will be there. Actually, we know four-legged crickets, right? Four-legged crickets we know. But here author was saying, you have seen a cricket that has two legs. What is the cricket that has two legs? Just get into the poem and find what is the two-legged cricket. Okay? Yes, a silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm, sunny months of grey summer and spring, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and will not a crumb to be found. On the snow-covered ground, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Yes, a silly young cricket, not it was matured. The poet here mentioning that it was a silly young cricket accustomed to. What is the meaning of accustomed to? Sing means used to sing, in the habit of singing. So you can observe this picture. Here it is a cricket continuously singing, means making it as a habit and continuously singing when not day and night through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. Gay means it is a time of happiness, where we can see all happiness, where we can observe all the gay means full of happiness and joy. Here the poet mentioned summer and spring as gay because it is full of life, greenery everywhere, and we can find abundance of water, abundance of food. So that's why the poet mentioning here gay summer and spring, so full of life, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and will not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground. So here the little young cricket, the silly young cricket, he was accustomed to sing, and he spent his entire time in the season of summer and spring by continuously singing. So he found at home his cupboard was empty. Observe this picture. There is nothing was left there in this cupboard, empty, and with not a crumb to be found. What is the meaning of crumb? Crumb means at least a little leftover, something related to a bread or something like a biscuit, something like that. At least a small piece of bread, small piece of biscuits, small piece of cake. So cricket didn't found that in his cupboard. On the snow-covered ground, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. So he joyfully spent his summer and spring by singing without thinking about next season, without thinking about the future. Continuously he spent all his time in singing. After founding in his cupboard that it was empty, he was not able to find crumbs. Crumbs means small pieces of bread, small pieces of cake, small pieces of biscuit. Nothing was there. On the snow covered ground, not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Yes, on the snow. Observe this picture. On the snow covered ground, this is snow covered ground, nothing will be there. Tree was there, but there is no leaves. So he couldn't find anything to have. So what is the situation of this cricket? Observe. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? At last by starvation and famine, made bold, all dripping with wet, and all trembling with cold. Away he set off to a miserly ant to see if, to keep him alive, he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow, he would repay it tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. Yes, see, finally, he thought that the cricket thought that, oh, what will become of me? I didn't found anything. If there is no food for me, for sure, I am going to die with starvation and famine. Starvation and famine means scarcity of food, having nothing to eat, all dripping with wet. All of them means it was two winter season, all of dripping with wet and trembling. Trembling means in this way, when it is a cold season, when we went outside, for sure, that too in the night time, for sure we will be in this way, trembling with the cold. Away he set off to a miserly ant. Finally he went to miserly. Miserly means very tiny, ant to see if to keep him alive would grant him shelter for grain and a mouthful of grain. So he asked and that please give me shelter from rain and please give me some mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow. He was not saying, cricket was not thinking that just want to take it for free, but he want to borrow it and he would repay it tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. This is the time you want to help. After going to ant, cricket was saying that please grant shelter from rain in this rainy season and some mouthful of grain. I wished only to borrow. I am borrowing from you. Tomorrow I will repay it. Otherwise I am going to die with this starvation. In this way, cricket was requesting ant and explaining his situation in this rainy season. You can observe this picture here where ant was taking all his food and everything to his home. Here you can observe the picture that grasshopper, I mean cricket went to home of miserly ant and he was requesting to give him some shelter and mouthful of grain. Says the ant to the cricket. Now ant replied. What is the reply of ant? I am your servant and friend. But we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket, not I. Yes, here is the dialogues of ant. He was saying that, says the ant to the cricket, I am your servant. After listening all the dialogues from the cricket, ant was saying, I am your servant and friend. But we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by when the weather was warm? Nothing by means, lay nothing by means, save nothing, save nothing. Save nothing when the weather was warm. Yes, so I'm your servant, cricket. I'm your servant. I'm also your friend. We ants never borrow. We ants never borrow and never lend. Okay, tell me one thing. Did you save anything when the weather was warm? In that way, ant question to cricket. Quoth the cricket, not I. Quoth in the sense here, said. In old English, it is said. We have some words. The words will be changed based upon the centuries, based upon the generations. Old English, Middle English, Modern English. In that way, based upon the generation, the words will be changed. In old English, quoth means said. The cricket said, not I. No, I didn't save anything when the weather was warm. You can observe this picture where the ant was questioning to the cricket and we can see the house of ant with lot of grains and everything. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say? Go then, says the ant, and dance with the winter away. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable, I will warrant it true. Some crickets have 4 legs, and some have 2. Yes. For the reply, the cricket was replying for the question of an ant. So the ant was asking, you didn't save anything when the weather was warm? In that way. For that, cricket was replying, my heart was so light. Means I felt so happy that I sang day and night. So that's why I continuously sang for day and night. For all nature looked gay, as we discussed earlier. gay means happiness and enjoyable. Here the poet compared nature was very happy and very enjoyable. There is greenery everywhere. As we discussed in summer and spring season, the nature is full of life, greenery everywhere. There is abundance of water and food. So that the same was saying by the cricket. For all nature looked gay, means while I am singing in summer and winter season, nature looked gay, very beautiful, very enjoyable, full greenery. So I thought I sang continuously day and night. You sang, sir? You say? Go then, says the ant. You sang continuously for day and night. You sang. You are saying that you sang continuously without doing any work, without thinking of the future. Continuously you sang day and night. Go then and dance the winter away. And dance the winter away. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket. So, in summer and spring season, what you done? Without any thought, you continuously day and night you sang continuously. Now what you will do? Continuously dance, and the winter season also will went. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. So hastily he ended up the conversation between cricket and he ended the conversation between cricket cricket and he out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable. I will warrant it true. Some cricket have four legs and some have two. So these are the two lines. Folks call this a fable. I will warrant it true. This was the dialogue of the author. Up to now we come to know we listened the conversation between ant and the cricket, but these two lines was said by other. Folks call this as a fable. I will warrant it true. Some crickets have four legs and some have two, which means, however, the poet was saying that it was true. There were crickets and many insects which they do not care about the future, and also humans. Humans in the sense here, as I discussed earlier, two-legged crickets. What is the two-legged cricket? Means here the poet mentioned as humans who never care about the future and repent when time went. So, in that way, the poet give some moral. We got some moral, right? So when the cricket was continuously enjoying by singing himself, where ant used to struggle hard in the summer season, carrying all the food and storing in their home, whereas cricket was continuously enjoying himself in singing. Finally, who lost his life? Cricket. So this is the way how the poet sees the we want to save for the future. We want to save for the future. This is the moral of the story. Once again, I will quickly recall what we discussed in this poem. There is a young silly cricket which used to spend entire his time day and night throughout the seasons in singing. One day he found his cupboard was empty, where he didn't find a crumb to eat. Crumb means something very less to eat at least. So what he thought, what I have to do now? Where I have to go? If anyone didn't help me, for sure I am going to die with starvation and famine. But when I am singing, I thought this summer and winter is full of gay happiness and enjoy, beautiful greenery everywhere. So I thought, and I continuously spend my time in singing. So he thought that he want to ask help from ant. He expected some help from ant. He went to miserly ant, a very small ant, that he mentioned that I want to go to, please give me, please lend me, please borrow, I want to borrow, please give me some shelter and mouthful of grain, for sure I am going to lend you tomorrow. In that way he requested. But our ant asked, what are you doing when when the weather was warm? The cricket replied that I thought and I was fully, and I spent my entire time in continuously in singing and singing. Oh, you are saying that singing, you are spent all the season in singing? Then go dance again, dance throughout the winter, then the season will go. There is no starvation for you, continuously you can spend singing in winter season also. In that way, and ended there is its conversation and make cricket to go from that place. So here finally the moral is, we have to say, we have to save, we want to care about our future. If we have some money means, we have 10 rupees. For example, I have 10 rupees today. Tomorrow I don't know whether I'm going to get this 10 rupees same, or tomorrow I'm going to get 20 rupees, or tomorrow I didn't get any single rupee also, I don't know. Today I got 10 rupees. You have to say, you have to say 5 rupees for tomorrow, you have to spend 5 rupees. Then tomorrow is there is no work for you. If there is no work for you means, you can take that 5 rupees and you can spend your day. If you spend the entire 10 rupees before, definitely you are going to be starved for the next day, isn't it, ma? So that's why we want to care about our future. That's what ant done in this fable. So whereas ant continuously struggling, continuously collecting some amount of food when it was summer season, we come to know that it was summer and spring is gay. Gay means full of greenery everywhere, abundance of food and abundance of water. Whereas winter season is something missing will be there, starvation will be there if we didn't store food, and for sure we are going to die with the starvation, as the cricket was suffering. So and done the correct thing, where he worked a lot, worked hard in the summer and spring season, where he saved and he was in safe in winter season. I hope you understood. Let us into the summary. The poem Ant and the Cricket is a fable, as we discussed earlier. Fable is a story consisting of animals as characters that conveys a moral. Written in a poetic form, it is about a silly young cricket and a miser ant. The cricket used to sing all day long and enjoy his good times during the summer season. Yes, he lacked foresightedness, for he never had plans for his future. When the winter arrived, cricket couldn't find a small amount of food to eat. So the cricket thinks to go to ant and to borrow food and to get shelter. The cricket knocked on the ant's door asking to help. Then ant questioned the cricket what he was doing during summer. The poem ends with the ant asking the cricket to try dancing and singing again during his hard times. So this is the summary of the story. Finally, the story ends with the ant asking the question that try dancing and singing in these hard times also. You are habituated, you are accustomed to sing in summer and spring season. Continue the same in winter season in these hard times. So finally, the moral of the story, we should work harder for our own sake and for the time of troubles. Moreover, always remembers that today's savings is tomorrow's income. Yes, you have to remember this quote. Today's savings is tomorrow's income. Let us discuss the question and answers. The cricket says, "Oh, what will become of me?" When does he say it and why? So this is the dialogue of the cricket. When he say this dialogue, when he went to know to he come to know that cupboard was empty and winter had arrived. It could not find a single crumb to eat on the snow-covered ground, and there were no flowers, no leaves on the tree. And since there was nothing to eat, it was starve and die. In this situation, the cricket says, "Oh, what will become of me?" Find in the poem the lines that means the same as neither a borrower nor a lender. B. This is one of the famous dialogue in Shakespeare works. So, which type of line mentions the same? Neither a borrower nor a lender. B. This is the line from Shakespeare's poem. Which line will be somehow suitable to this dialogue? See, in our poem, ant says, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. These lines will be suitable for this line. The ant tells the cricket to dance the winter away. Do you think the word dance is appropriate here? If so, why? Yes, of course it was appropriate when he used to spend his entire time, when the cricket used to spend his entire time in singing in summer and spring season. Why don't he spend his hard times by dancing? So in this way, to reply to the cricket, the ant said dance the winter away just like it, sang all through the summer and did not bother to store food for winter. So of course it is appropriate. Which lines in the poem express the poet's comments? Read them aloud. So the last two lines express the poet comments that folks call this a fable. I will warrant it true. So these are the lines which was commented by the poet. These are the lines. Write the comment in your own words. That after watching this video, after understanding, you have to write on your own words. I hope you understood this poem.